Check it. It's your boy Husky, and we'll get right into it. I know you've seen a lot of these videos popping up on your TikTok and your Instagram and everything. And check them out. Look at it. This is the craziest one I've seen so far, right here. Right. This one's just a little bit not believable, but I'm gonna get to the point. But check it out. Like, yeah, look how all these celebrities look like, right? It's funny, but you see these videos coming up your timeline and you laugh at them, and you just keep scrolling by. But I'm here, Husky, to tell you one thing: this shit is real. Yep, you heard this right. This shit is real, 100% real. And we're going to get right into it.
He was born in 1988. The resemblance is obvious. Arya Stark, Eddie Murphy, Jay-Z, Steve Martin, Jimmy Fallon, Justin Timberlake, Johnny Depp, Matthew McConaughey, Jennifer Lawrence.
So check it. This last clip you just seen that I downloaded from TikTok, that's been on my timeline 100 times, and I've seen it a million times. I'm sure you have as well. These are what these guys with the old school picture, like Jay-Z right here, and this Steve Martin, Jimmy Fallon, all these guys with the old school picture. That really is them. They've never died. And the reason this has happened is because they are what you call Nephilim. Yes, Nephilim. Look it up. It's complicated. It's super complicated, but I'm going to break it down for you as best as I can, so you don't have to do all the research. You can, if you want, shoot up to Google wherever you do your research. But this is how I go down. So these Nephilim, right? They're celebrities now. They're people in high places, like the White House, like the military, like the World Economic Forum. They're all there. They're all the same people. They've never died. They just come back as something new and different. And this is how they came about to that. Let me break this shit down real quick, as fast as I can for y'all, for my people right here. So check it. So, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, right? I'm talking about like a long ass time ago, fool. Like a long ass time ago. Some bad angels were kicked out of heaven. Like, I'm talking about some bad fools. Like some bad angels like Lucifer, Moloch, Baphomet, them type of fools, right? They were kicked out of heaven because they were just bad angels. They're the fallen angels. They're known as the fallen angels, right? So the fallen angels, they got sent down to earth because, they were just the bad angels. So they roamed around earth for thousands and thousands of years, doing all kinds of havoc shit, doing all kinds of bad shit, bad things, like really weird stuff, like, just think of it, like Lucifer, Moloch, and Baphomet all in the same spot. Imagine the kind of crazy shit they're fucking doing, right? So they had relations with the daughter of man. So in other words, they had sex with the daughter of man, bro. There's no other way to put it, So this is where the story can get a little bit weird, because obviously if you've seen these guys, they're fucking hideous. So I don't think it was consensual, right? So they were doing bad shit. So they had offspring from this, right? They had babies, and those babies were known as the Nephilim giants.
Who were the Nephilim? The Nephilim appear for the first time in the book of Genesis. They were a legendary race of hybrid giants, the result of the unnatural union between fallen angels and human women. They existed at the time of the patriarchs Noah and Enoch. These giants terrorized the people and took advantage of their enormous size and strength to do whatever they wanted, and it is said that they were very evil and perverse. The Nephilim were very violent and with superhuman forces that filled the earth with violence and terror, leaving death and destruction in their wake. Besides being mentioned in the book of Genesis, They are also mentioned in the book of Ezekiel. The giants that terrorized the earth were destroyed by the wrath of God through the universal flood. Undoubtedly, we do not know so much about our past that it would not be incoherent to think that this legendary race of giants called Nephilim have existed and terrorized for a long time. It is even believed that these beings are still alive, asleep, or hidden from all of us. Comment your opinion and follow me for more.
At the end of that video, you heard the guy say one thing. He said, some people believe they are still alive. And that's true. They are, because they can never die. They will never die. They can't. They're going to roam the earth for thousands of years. So let me break it down what happened. So when the flood came, Jesus, God, had enough of these crazy ass giants wreaking havoc everywhere. So he flooded the whole entire world. But right before that, he contacted Noah and put all the important animals and people on that ship to start a new world. But the giants were bad fools. So they were washed away in the flood. Like, I'm talking about like flood. Like just think of the whole entire world flooded. And they got washed under the flood. And y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all seen the movie Noah's Ark when they finally show up at the end. Here's a spoiler alert. I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's been out for a while. But at the very end, when they finally show up to like the new era, you see a bunch of beautiful big mountains with grass, and you see like new wildlife, and the animals start going to the new world, the new paradise, right? After all the bad shit's been flooded away. So this is where the story gets crazy, right? And the reason I say it gets crazy, it's because this is where all the theories come in, right? And you know, some people might not agree with these theories, but they're out there. And you know, I listen to a lot of conspiracy podcasts and a lot of podcasts that talk about the Nephilim and all this other stuff, and some of them being like tinfoil hat or cult of conspiracies or Nephilim death squad. You know, those are the type of podcasts that I listen to, and like they go back and forth and discuss this. They have their own theories. Everybody has their own theory, but this is one of the theories, right? So all the beautiful mountains you see, they're not mountains, they're the giants. So go outside and look around, and you see all those big mountains. All those mountains are giants. I know it sounds weird, but the mud, when the flood came, the mud flood, right? Some people call it the mud flood. Well, that's a different story. But after the flood came, the giants were buried by a shit ton of mud. So all these big lumps you see on the fucking, everywhere you go, these mountains are all giants that are laying there. Their body is there. Their conscience, their soul, that's not even the soul what they got. It's like that evil entity, the Nephilim in them, the being sons of the fallen angels. They were able to transfer their conscience into something else, into whatever they wanted. After thousands and thousands of years of their bodies being under mud, they figured out that they can't die. Because they can't die, they can't go nowhere. They can't go to heaven, they can't go to hell, they can't go anywhere. They just have to roam the earth for thousands of years until God returns, until Jesus returns for the rapture, right? And so this is where the celebrity part comes in. Because when I say celebrities, I mean celebrities never die, right? Because once the giants were like washed up in the mud, they couldn't move. They woke up, but they couldn't go nowhere. They couldn't fucking move. That big ass mountain, they're stuck. Thousands of like solid. Just think of all the summers after of thousands of years of hot summer on that straight mud is like concrete. They can't move. So they were all stuck under the mud, and they figured out that they can transfer their conscience into anything. It started off with the little animal, and it got bigger, right? Eventually, they got smart, and finally, one of them decided, oh shit, I'm gonna see if I can invade this human. And boom, just like that, it happened. Their fucking conscience invaded that person, which you called a possession, right? That person is possessed by a Nephilim because they just got invaded, and then they got smarter and smarter and smarter because think about it, they have thousands of years to figure this shit out. And sorry, my dog's over here tripping. But so yeah, they had thousands of years to figure this whole shit out, and they finally invaded a human. So once they got smarter and smarter because they don't die, they just started invading humans that were people that were doing good for themselves, like the royal family, like people like that. They were like, okay, these people are doing good. Boom, now they just turn into them. They just invade their meat suit. Like the meat suit is their body, you know. They just throw out their conscience and kill it, and they just invade their body, and now that's them. So not every celebrity is not every celebrity is a Nephilim. I'm sure there's plenty of good celebrities out there that try to speak the truth, but a lot of these fools that have never died is because they picked a meat suit and, you know, they're gun-ho about it, man. Like, let's just put Jay-Z, for example. Like, that old picture of him, that's really him back in the day, a Nephilim back in the day. And he's like, nah, dude, I'm going to keep going with the same meat suit because I don't care. I'm going to make this meat suit a billionaire one day. Or whatever, you know, and just more power because he ain't going nowhere. Yes, like when they finally they fake the death to the society, they fake their death because they don't age. You see them, they look exactly the fucking same, and then they just out of nowhere they die tragically. They die with a tragic death or something, like where they can't see them, and then boom, we forget about it. We go on with our lives. They're gone and dead. But guess what? Once we're gone, they come back because we're not here no more to say, hey, those guys are here. So it keeps going into a vicious cycle. So that's why it's very important. These people that are in high places showing all their occult satanic symbolism on TV, like just pay close attention on what you watch. Everything has it. So every movie that you watch has some kind of symbolism. Play whatever you want, like Disney movie, sports, just think of anything that's on TV, they're part of it. And on that note, I know I left a bunch of stuff out in between the cracks because I'm just trying to fit this in a short video to give it a quick rundown. But there you have it. And appreciate y'all tuning in to Husky Radio. Stay tuned for another episode. Peace.